Good afternoon, Gossip Talk Shows family. It's Namsa here at Gossip Talk Shows. Find your own voice, led from within. With me today, I have Carol Ann Cooper. How are you, Carol Ann?
Yes, I'm doing well, thank you. Out and about and yeah, meeting up with friends again in person to do work, which is that in itself is helps, helps you feel a lot better. So yeah, I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Good, good. It's a half-term school holidays, and tomorrow is Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, my daughter's got plans on Valentine's Day, my 8-year-old daughter.
Oh, bless her. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Valentine's Day is about love, family loving each other, and got to show some love. She goes, "What are you getting for daddy?" I was like, "Do I need to get him something?" She goes, "Yeah, you got to show some love." I was like, "Okay then."
Oh, bless her. So she believes in love.
Yeah, she
Yes,
believes in
yeah,
love.
yeah. And that's great because with the title we've got today, which is how
Yeah,
can love create miracles in um, daily life. And I just sort of saw that. I thought, oh, that sounds interesting to explore because, you're saying about tomorrow, which is Valentine's Day, and your daughter's saying you need to show some love. Um, so yeah, there's this one day that a year that they have that, but actually showing love every day and having love in your life or being loving is what can create miracles, So why does it have to be just for one day a year? There's this
yeah.
focus.
Love is a miracle. It has to be shown every single day, not just on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day has to be right through the year.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's right. So
So, what made you choose this topic, by the way?
I don't know because there was a few that I sort of found possible, and I don't know. I just kept coming back to this one, and I thought, okay, let's go with this one. It's one that called to me because I think very often, I think the word miracles, um, people wonder about that. They think there aren't any miracles, and actually, there's miracles happens every day anyway.
Yeah.
Just by looking around, just the fact that we're born, just the fact there's nature out there, there's trees, there's the air, there's rain, there's clouds, there's sunshine, there's all sorts of things that you can look at and realize it's a miracle, an absolute miracle. But very often people sort of collapse miracles with being these big things that um, they feel is impossible or something is miraculous. But all it is something that you think isn't going to happen actually happens. That's a miracle in itself. If you believe there's a goal that you have that isn't going to happen, well, it can happen. If you stand with love, bring love to it, bring focus to it, and it happens, there's a miracle, you know? Um, and it was just like me coming out of hospital and me getting up, walking again, coming round and all of that. And it's a miracle. And I claim it as a miracle. And the people have said it's a miracle. So, but it was just the love that was brought to the whole event, the whole adventure that I went through, the whole experience, you know, that's what helped it become a miracle. Um, rather than the worry, the concern, the oh goodness, what's going to happen, and the dark visions, because that doesn't help bring miracles about. It's standing in love and possibility, because that opens up possibility. So I thought, yeah, it's a great topic to explore. So what about you? When you saw the title, what were you thinking? And you're muted, by the way.
And what are you saying, Carol Ann? Pardon?
Sorry?
Yeah, you were talking about what did I think about the topic?
Mm.
When I saw the topic, I was like, yeah, love is a miracle. Because, like you were saying, that people believe that a miracle has to be a big thing. To me, just like with this topic, that every single day, love is a miracle. I was talking to Martin yesterday, his friend, his relationship, they broke up with his missus a few months ago. So he's not in a
Mm.
good place. So we were talking about it, and he was like, I don't think it was like coming to the house, a mad house for me is best thing than coming into a quiet house. And I was like, yeah, because we're not very quiet. So it was like I can imagine, meaning his friend, what he's going through, because he now is now coming back into a house that is very quiet. And it was like, I think that's why he's not coping with the situation. I was like, yeah, but for us here, we are very noisy. And he was like, if you guys go on holiday, because sometimes we do go to holidays where we go just the kids, me and the kids.
Uh,
Yeah, and sometimes he goes, it's fine when you guys say you're going on a holiday, but when I come back in the house, well, everything is quiet,
mm,
does not feel right.
mm, mm.
Yeah, it does not feel right because you come in and then everyone is in the other room, it is shouting, is screaming, calling, Mommy. I'm like, why don't you just come to me if you need me? Why do I need to come to you? And they're like, come here. And it's
Mm.
like, no, you come to me, so we're making noise. And then he goes, why don't you just both go to each other because you're making noise? So it's like that noise is a miracle. When you come
Mm,
home and
mm.
people are making noise, it's a miracle. But when it's quiet, it's sadness.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
agree with you, Carol Ann. There are things in life that we don't see it as a miracle,
Mm,
but it's a miracle every single day. Being in a relationship and sharing love together, it's just it's that daily miracle that sometimes the people don't appreciate it.
hmm.
So yeah, I agree with this topic because whether it's romantic or family or whatever that might be, it just brings this positive emotions. It brings joy, it brings happiness, and and contentment. It's just it transforms your life. Knowing that you are loved, it transforms everything, even loving yourself as well.
Mm.
But you still need to share your love with other people. And then when you do, it's like when I come here to Ngozi talk shows, I know Tuesday I've got Carol Ann, and I know I've got Amanda Wednesday and Grant, and
Mm.
Thursday is just me, Friday is Dr. Biget. So it's
Mm.
just that, you're just gonna meet people and it's a family, it's part of the family. So yeah, it is indeed a miracle. Daily is our daily miracle.
That's right. And then it's the love that creates it because it's a loving family. There is love here, you know. There isn't there isn't hate and there isn't bitchiness or anything like that. There's love, and that's what makes this a miraculous show, and that can emanate out, and people can feel that, and it's transformation. That's how love can create miracles in a daily life. It can create transformation because it can turn despair into hope, darkness into light, and hatred into empathy. And it just encourages people to grow and to move forward rather than being sort of staying stuck. So it's a shift of perspective. It's recognizing where you're at. If you're in that sort of no hope state, then just ask yourself, well, where is the love? And that's that song, isn't it? Where is the love? So put that song on, play that tune, ask that question, well, where is the love? And if you're still in that despair and no hope, and it's like, well, there isn't any, you can't see it, you can't feel it, just ask yourself, well, how could I feel it? Go inside your heart, because there is love. Do you have love for yourself? Can you accept what is actually happening around you? What causes you to have no hope? And then look or listen out for hope. What would hope feel like to you? It's exploring it. It's being in that zone, because actually by becoming present, and it's always about coming present in the moment, that's where you find the love. And that's when things can shift. Because that's what happened when I was in hospital. There were times when it was like, I just felt it was hopeless. I'm never going to get out of here. It's like weeks and months are stretched ahead from what some of the doctors were saying, that they didn't think that I was going to get out, anytime soon. And it just felt hopeless. So I just literally allowed myself to be in that zone for a while, and then shifted it, just became very present in the moment, and focused on my breathing, focused on okay, so what do I need to do? What can I do that will bring that hope here and that I can get out sooner? And then I just felt my energy shift and lift, and I was more present to what was going on around me, and just found something to do. I had some puzzle books to do, just did those. So it was just being active. And then things shifted, and I started to become, no, this isn't happening. This isn't my vision. I will get out of here sooner. And the more I then stepped into that and could see that vision and started planning what I was going to do when I got home, it actually happened. I was out in November, way before Christmas, way before my birthday. I was actually able to celebrate Christmas, celebrate my birthday with my family at home. So it is finding that love, finding and bringing love to it, that you then can find the hope. So this is a miracle. That is a miracle, being able to shift, transform your perspective. So maybe you've not thought about that as being a miracle, that transformation. Reshift and reframe what you think a miracle is. Because then once you start looking for miracles or seeing them all around you, it's like, oh, I've got a net curtain up here now. Both my daughters shifted my room around, got rid of a lot of stuff for me. Not without my say so. They were, talking to me and I was saying what they could get rid of. My daughter said, "Can I put a net curtain up, please, Mum?" I went, "Oh, go on then." And actually, it's nice, and I'm going, "Oh, this is lovely." It's just so. So it's actually then having gratitude, and that again promotes the miracles. You stand in gratitude. Is that there's love. Love is there. Oh, how else do you think love can create miracles in your daily life, Namsa?
I think love reduces stress as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we have the connection, good connection, love and social connections, um, is actually it will reduce a stress level when we feel supported and cared for. Our bodies release that hormones like oxytocin, and which can counteract the effect of stress hormones. So when somebody feels that they are being supported, like I was talking to Martin yesterday, I was telling me about his friend. I said, make sure you support him whenever he needs you. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm always there for him." And then he was telling me how men deal with the stress and stuff. He was like, "We don't do like the emotions." I was like, "Why don't you all do the emotions?" It was like, you grow up and you get told to be a man. and get on with it.
Mm.
So, and then you enter a relationship, and then when things gets tough, and then you have to start opening up. We don't do that. So it was like we deal with things very, very different when we are going through problems. So I was like, but who actually said men should man up and not open up? So we got into this business of men who don't go for counseling, and he was like, no men go for counseling. I was like, yes, they do when they're going through problems.
Mm.
So I said to God, I thank you, God, because I'm not a woman who screams and shouts. And I was like, this man will be in depression by his beliefs. Because for me, I like pray when things gets tough, because I know he won't open up. So I pray to God, to actually the Holy Spirit to talk to him so he can actually open up. That's when he will open up with things. So I have to fast and I have to pray. So now and then he will start opening up if I see that there's something that he's going through, or like with his friends, I could see is really worried. And then he started opening up that the problem is with us men, we don't deal with things like everybody else. Women deal with the situation in a different way. So I was like, where did that come by where you have to man up? And I said to him, please don't you ever feel like you have to man up with me, because if you're going through something, if you're not okay, you need to say, I'm not okay. There's no point in having family. And I always say that to my family. People are so, I don't know, they live in this world where you have to pretend to be okay. So I always say to my family, because in Africa, you don't talk about things. That's how the culture is. You don't
Mm.
talk about problems. It show apparently it's weakness, but how I was raised, my dad was so different, and my mom, she's so different. You talk about things, and when you talk about things, you pray about them as well. And
Mm.
she'll say you pray about them. Even my grandmother, she used to talk. Like she would talk to me. Like now I look back at the conversation, I'll be like, what was she thinking? I was just a baby telling me about her marriage. What did I know about marriages? But in that
Mm.
way, but in an African actually culture, and I know in some Indian Western cultures as well, they have that thing where you you can't open up when you're going through something, or even when you're having problems with marriage. You cannot leave, you have to stay. They say that's what you've signed up for. But for me, my parents raised me different, that you always have to communicate. You always have to talk to people whenever you have problems. And sometimes my mom forgets that. That's how she raised me. And
Oh,
when it's, yeah, she,
yeah.
yeah, she actually forgets. Like when I ask a question, and she's like, oh, okay. And now she's like, oh, you are my daughter. That's why. Because I ask questions about when it goes to my siblings, like when you're raising your children, like for me, my
Mm.
parents would tell me things, and everything that they raised me, what love is, I practice it, but I see with my siblings, we were both raised the same part by the same parents, but they shut down. They're not really, for me, it's not because I do coaching or anything. I'm always been like that. uh, I just, if I see somebody on the street, I just talk to them. Or even I see homeless, we'll go and buy food and just give homeless, and then start talking and asking questions and start just having a conversation. And I've seen it in Reading. There's this guy, I don't see him anymore. He used to come to the town center and just give hugs for free. And they
Mm.
say it's just love and showing people that you love them, because some people don't get all these things that we take for granted, and some people don't have a family. So it was like, I'm just spreading love today. I'm just spreading love and just loving. But love is a miracle, and some people they don't see it that way. It's like during lockdown, when everyone else was like saying, I'm just so fed up with my husband, I'm so fed up with the kids being in the house. For me, I just look at my family, Carol Ann, and I'll be like, God, I'm so grateful. Every single day I'll get up in the morning, and when I just see them sitting there screaming or just doing their whatever they are doing, I'll be like, God, I'm so grateful that I get to see my family. I get to get up in the morning, but somebody else in the hospital, they get told that switch off the machine because of the pandemic.
Mm.
But it's just that miracle that we see it every single day, that we just have to. But sometimes people think that a miracle is when the big things happen, when that thing unusual things happen, or all these things, the small things. I always say in the house to my family, when you are blessed with a small thing, celebrated. In order for God or the universe to bring bigger gift, you got to acknowledge the small things.
Mm.
But anyway, my family think I'm not normal. I'm always so grateful, Carol Ann, with
Yeah, I
anything.
know.
Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
always so grateful. That's why when you were coming, I think you were like, his noms are okay. When you were coming from the hospital, they're screaming.
Mm.
How it was for me, it's something like, when somebody goes through pain and you feel that pain and you want them to get
Mm.
better, and you want them to have the life that you have. And when God gives them that little healing, you are like, God, I am so grateful.
Mm.
So grateful.
Mm.
It's just a blessing,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, I know. And it's that love that I could feel when I was in hospital from yourself, from loads of other people with sharing, you know, prayers, asking and just sending love. And that's what helped give me that resilience, that bounce back ability each time, because I could feel that huge love that was being sent out. And this is how miracles happen, because just in daily life, you just loving somebody through whatever they're going through helps them to have that resilience to bounce back, to face those storms that they're going through. Just sending them love, just holding them in that space of love can, a miracle. That is a miracle. The miracle is that they are resilient, they bounce back, they get through it in whatever way they get through it, but they get through it. Whether the conflict is resolved or not, somehow they grow stronger because of it and because of the love that you sent them and that support in that way. They bounce back. And for me, that's what helped give me that resilience, helped me to keep switching my thoughts from those, cloudy ones to brighter sunshine ones. And but by showing our love for other people, you were saying about just paying it forward to other people, strangers, just going out and sharing that love, people that you don't know or that you haven't met for long, or just sharing something with them. You just don't know how that might impact their life. And that was actually shown to me when I was at one of Brandon Bays's events with her Journey Intensive. And I shared just a couple of brain gym activities with one of the other Journey grads there. And I just shared it with her because it's something that I love and I know would help her. And it was quite a few years later that I bumped into her again at another Journey Intensive, and she came bounding up to me and said, "Oh, you saved my life." She said, "You saved mine and my daughter's life." She said, "I used that brain gym," and she said it turned things around. And I was like, "What? What did I do?" And she reminded me that I'd shared that those tools with her. And it just literally transformed things for her. And as you say, you just don't know how that's going to impact somebody's life. But coming from that loving space of wanting to support somebody, to help them through whatever they're going through, sharing gifts with them, can transform just somebody's life. And even in hospital, you have the opportunity, even if you're there yourself and you're in pain or you're, recuperating from something, you can still transform somebody's life. There was a doctor there, one in particular who comes to mind. He came to me one day. He was trying to change the something. I had what they called a PICC line, which was permanently connected into my vein, and it would feed food into me intravenously. But there was also another connection that they could put drugs into, whatever they needed to. And he was attempting to change that, and he was and I said, I just put my hand on him and I said, just breathe. Just take a breath, pause and breathe. Take a deep breath in and then let it out. And then he carried on. He said, and because he was so stressed because there was so much going on and he was rushing and that, but in that moment of just giving him that peace, that quiet, that gift of just breathe, that reminder, I said, then you'll get far more done. And he got it done brilliantly, went on. And he never forgot that. Every time he saw me, he said, you're the one, you helped me. He said, you helped me. I still do it. He said, I still do it. You just, a simple act of kindness and love, you just have no idea the impact it can have on somebody. And that brings joy. It brought joy to me every time I saw him, because his eyes shone. He said, thank you. Every time he was saying thank you. And it just brings that smile, that love, that laughter back in. And it can just lifts you. So, what have you got that you could share? And you might not know it until in the moment. And again, it comes back to being in the moment, not making somebody wrong. I didn't make him wrong because he was fumbling and he was trying to rush it and everything. And I'm thinking, no, you shouldn't be rushing. Don't, no, and getting all tied up in his anxiety. It was just present in the moment, peace, quiet, and just pause. Take a breath. And then go back to it again. Just a simple action like that. So yeah, you just don't know what miracles come from that. Just sharing that love, being loving and in the moment. So yeah, it's that healing quality, isn't it, that love has? That's how miracles can show up, through love. There's because actually it has the power to heal broken hearts. So we're talking about relationships. We're talking about Valentine's Day tomorrow, which is very much about relationships and love. And love can heal broken relationships. You come from that loving space. And it's not a case of, being mended such that maybe you have to go together, keep staying together, or maybe it's a way of it's mending the relationship so that you can go your separate ways and being comfortable with that. You bring love to it. It then makes your journey afterwards so much easier. So whatever it is, just bring love to it. And it's a miracle if somebody can part ways with love and gratitude and find their own paths. It's a miracle if somebody can bring love to a relationship and they find their way together again. They mend those bridges. They find a way of forgiving, because forgiveness is also an act from love. And that brings about miraculous changes. It's all intertwined, isn't it? It's lovely. It really is. And so just in those moments of despair or, oh gosh, what's going on? Or not feeling that you're cared for, or you're not feeling part of something, notice where maybe you've withdrawn. Because is it you that's not feeling a part of it? Is it them making you feel that, you're not included? Well, nobody can make you feel not included. It's in you. It's what you're saying to yourself. Oh, they're not including me. I don't feel included. And you go, So what? They're doing their thing. That's all that's happening. Does it mean that they're not including you? They don't love you? No. It just means that you've made that mean that. And that's where your despair and your low vibration comes in. So again, where is the love? Celebrate. They're doing something together. It's that whoever you're with family, and they're choosing to do something together. Celebrate it. They're connecting. And you can be a part of that if you choose to be or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is you standing in loving yourself and accepting whatever is going on and not making it mean something bad about yourself or about them. That's how love can then bring a miracle to your daily life, because you love yourself and you stand in loving yourself and just going, okay, they're doing what they're doing. They're not including me. They're not, because it's not something that I'm meant to be included in. I can go and do my own stuff.
Yep.
If I want to be included, then have a conversation. Open up and say, hi, I'm just feeling a bit excluded here. I'm not included. Can I be included? And they can say yes or no. If they say no, it's no. That's all it is. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It just means in that moment, it's not something that includes you. And they might just say yes, because they hadn't even thought about including you. They were just in their own little space, their own little bubble. And it's just having those conversations, but it's you being in a loving space that helps to open up those miraculous possibilities. That's where love comes in. And that's how love can create miracles in our daily life. In our daily life, it's every day. Miracles are happening. I just look at my granddaughter baking her cakes and how she decorates them. And then she was putting some red ribbon around these boxes of cupcakes. They look absolutely gorgeous. And I just feel that love that's gone into that presentation, and there it will spread, the love, because the people will appreciate and love what they're eating just by looking at it and then eating it. So that's how you can spread it. Love what you're doing. Put the love in there. And there's miracles happening.
Every single day
Yeah.
is a miracle.
Yeah.
I always say to people that there's this guy who said to me once, Nonsa, you're always happy. Is there any secret behind it? And I was like, the secret is self-acceptance. Once you accept yourself for who you are,
Yeah.
nothing else does not matter. And I said to him, and he was like, when you come in, you're always happy. I was like, yeah, I'm always happy. If somebody tells me their life, I will always check on them how things are going and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, I want to know your secret. I was like, there is no secret. First, you just have to love yourself and accept yourself, because no one else will actually love you apart from God. God's love is unconditional. But when we look love to people, we want people to love us. Our expectation, when our expectations are not met, we'll be disappointed. So the best option for me that I have learned the hard way is, I don't know if you have seen my videos, Kero Ann, that I've been recording. I've recorded 3 videos going through human blood sacrifice.
Oh
I don't,
no,
you have
I
not, you
saw a
have,
headline. I didn't sort of, I haven't seen the
oh yeah,
listen to
I,
them, but
I
I
have
just
learned so much through that.
really.
And there were people that stepped into my life,
Mm-hmm.
and these people, I did not expect them to do what they did, but they showed me what love really is,
Oh,
unconditional love. And these people,
mm,
they were not really. I don't know. It was a place where I saw God's work. You know, there are people that are angels that God has put them there everywhere.
oh yes.
And those people, when they enter your life, you don't question it. The
Mm-hmm.
things they do, you just know that is God's work. And that's when I've learned what love is about. With my mom, I'm always been very close to my mom. We've always been very, very with my parents. My parents, I love my parents. So my mom, when I went to South Africa, she was the only person that I would talk to when I was going through that, and she understood because she knew she was the person that she was like, I've had it through the newspapers and on TV, people talking about it coming forward. But this is what the tips that people saying. I took those tips, and there's people, the strangers, like there were three people from the United Kingdom that stepped in. And at that moment, you know, the people that you daily see them and they tell you that they love you, not really true. Not really true when it comes to tough times, they're not there.
Yeah, yeah,
So I've learned I find myself the angel of God, like when people reject me and I could feel the love, like the comfort. And I've learned through that to actually self-acceptance is the best thing that money cannot buy. Because when you love yourself and you accept yourself, nothing else, it does not matter. And you love God because God loves us unconditional, regardless of how many times we sin by, who always accept us in his life. And I've learned that you just have to, every day, single day, those people that enter your life, and when they give you that hug and they show you that we love you and with this, and then I had to learn the experience with your own blood cannot save you sometimes, because
mm.
we say we are family and stuff. So I was so touched with your daughter by just seeing her sending messages. Me, I'm just so crazy with, I can feel the
Mm.
love that is real. I can feel it.
Mm.
You know, when she sends messages and talking about mom, like is talking.
You've frozen. Oh dear. So you froze for a moment.
Can you hear me?
I can now, but you froze. You said you talked
Oh,
about
sorry.
and you stopped. So what you?
I was saying you can feel the love with the when she talks. There are so many people that I've met. You know, when they talk about their family members, they talk about them because they don't have a choice, it's their family. But there are some people that I've met when they talk about their blood, it's like blood is blood, it's like it's real.
Mm.
So when she was sending me messages each and every day, I could feel the love that she had for her mom. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. I could see even God, he was like, pray for her so she can get out of this pain that she's going through. And to me, love, it comes from within. You cannot even fake it. And that's why every single day, anyone, if there's anyone who is watching, who is struggling, because I meet people that are so frustrated, they will be telling me, oh, people are this, people this. I'm like, what about you? Why
Mm.
do you worry about people?
Yeah, yeah.
Why not just worry about your life? because sometimes people are not, our expectations, if they're not met with people, it means they themselves, they don't understand the meaning of love. They
Mhm.
need to find it, they need to learn it. So if somebody understand it, for me, I'll say just work on that and share it with people, because when you share it with people, and love will be born from that person.
Mm.
So it's very, very, very important uh, when you actually show love. Because when you show love, I've had people like sending me messages about Nkosi talk shows, how they feel about Nkosi talk shows. And
Mhm.
sometimes I'll listen to the speakers, they feel that they're not doing enough. I'm like, no. But the people that are actually watching the talk show, there's a girl, she's my friend's friend, and my friend's friend. So she watches Ngosi talk shows on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And she said, it said, I watched the talk show, but Nomsa never realizes you who's doing the talk
Oh.
show. she was like, she
Oh.
was like, when my friend send an invite now, because we normally meet up like holidays, we meet up, they
Mm.
cook nice food, they're from Sweden. And she was like, when she got the invitation of we're meeting up or Boxing Day, and she's been following me for a year. She loves getting excited with the talk show. She likes it. If she doesn't watch it live, she'll go and watch it later. She said, that is nonsense.
Realization, light bulb. Oh my
I
God, it's nonsense.
honestly, she, and then when I walked in, she was like, "Oh my God, I've been watching your talk show. I love it, but I didn't
Mm.
realize it's you." And I was like, "Yes, it's me." And she was like, "I did not realize it." And I was like, I kept asking. She was like, "She looks like Anne's friend and Anthony." And when actually Anthony invited them, and she was like, it just came to her that this is actually Nomsa.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it is me. And then she was like,
Mm.
I had met her before, so she was talking to me. She didn't realize actually she watches my talk show. She was like, and I was like, and she was like, I so love it. And I was like, I just feel so touched and honored with that,
Mhm.
because I've never spoken to her about the talk show, and she just found it and she fell in love with it. And I think that is really, really, that is so good. So that's why I believe that we have miracles each and every day, Kero Anna, but we never really realize it. Yesterday I was reading the Bible. I think it's Matthew 18, verse 2.
Mm.
When the disciples ask God who will enter the kingdom of God, and they said, children, unless you all like little children, then you see the kingdom of God. But if not, you will never enter the kingdom of God. And then it dawned to me, and I was like, the reason why he's saying that is because a child has true love, and they have this unconditional love. They never worry about anything. To them, life is a blessing. So when I was reading that, so I was like, does it mean I really need to fully, fully accept me for who I am, and really not to care about what people think of me? Because sometimes I do care when people are saying negative things. And I was like, when God is saying this to the disciples, it means, because if you go to a child and you say something, they'll question you why you say that, and they will never be bothered about it. They will just keep loving you. They will just keep giving you hugs, and they're innocent.
Mm.
They just love. Their love is so true, is so real. So now I was like, so does it mean that I'm not there yet with love? I need to love like a child. So it left me with questions. I keep going back to the scripture because I
Mhm.
still have questions like, I don't appreciate, does it mean I don't appreciate people more? or I need to appreciate my spouse more. Just love that love unconditional. I was like, but I'm doing it. So when I'm reading that, it made me feel like I need to look at my life more, Ann.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to
Yeah.
love more.
Yeah.
I need to show gratitude more. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. So I guess it's maybe what, rather than show gratitude more, it's another question to ask is, well, what is it that I'm not showing gratitude for at the moment that maybe,
Yeah.
I could be. Maybe there is something that you just take for granted.
Yeah.
And it's actually recognizing, oh, well, I've been taking that for granted. Bring gratitude to it. It shifts it. Is there someone who's feeling taken for granted? Is there some action that someone's does that they do on a regular basis and it's just taken for granted? Bring that awareness, bring that love to it, bring that attention and gratitude to it. It would transform it. So maybe that's where you could explore, where can you find gratitude, love more? Where can you expand it? Where can you find, bring gratitude more? Because if that is the question there, it's like just shift it slightly.
Yeah.
Because very often we sort of we're looking and we're sort of, well, we're not sure. But if you just say, well, where am I not being grateful? What is it I'm not being grateful for? It can then just shift the focus, and you can then find it. It may even be something in yourself. Where am I not being loving to myself? Where am I not being grateful for myself or what's happening? And I know that I've the gratitude that I have for my body right now, the miraculous way that it is coming bounding back. And it's not just in me being able to um, walk more quickly, have my breath back, but it's actually the fact that where I was literally skin and bone, and I mean skin and bone everywhere, I didn't think I would ever have that, any level of padding again. I just thought that was how it's going to be. But no, I've come back home, I'm eating properly, and I've got these drinks that are, nutrient, they're supplements that have got all the nutrients in. I've been having those, and my body is padding out. I'm getting back a bit of padding. I don't feel skin and bone anymore. Places where it was like so hollow, the hollows have filled out again. And I'm just going, oh, and every day I'm going, oh my goodness, this is a miracle. This is a miracle. Our bodies are miracles in themselves, and they have such an amazing capacity to heal, but we compromise it. And that's why I'm looking at what am I eating or, at the moment or doing that's causing my joints and my fingers to stiffen up and swell up. There's something, and I'm still doing it. So I need to look at that, because it's only what I'm eating, or maybe it's just something that's clearing and needs to come out for a while. I don't know, but I just need to talk with my body. But yeah, I'm just amazed every day. I just feel my legs, I feel my arms, I just feel myself all over and go, even my backside, it feels like I've got a bit more padding there, where literally it was skin and bone, and I mean skin and bone. My shins, I could feel the bone down the front of my shin. And now there's a bit of padding on it, and a little bit of padding either side. So it's not just bone down there. I can't describe it enough. It's so joyful to me. And I just keep feeling everything and going, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So yeah, our bodies are miracles. So love our bodies, and that's where love can create a miracle. Because if you really love your body, love yourself, love your body, and recognize where, if things aren't quite right, then how can you bring love to it? say, right, well, what is happening here? What can I shift? What can I stop eating? Or what other foods can I eat? Or what natural remedies could I be having that would support this, support my body in healing itself? Not taking chemicals that just destroy or add toxins into your body, which then stresses your body out even more. It might bring a level of comfort in that moment. And that's okay. I'm not making that wrong. But just stop and think, okay, what is going on with my body? What thoughts are there that I need to shift? Because even just shifting negative thoughts into loving ones can transform illness in your body, because you're lifting the stress. As I was talking to my daughter the other day, we were sharing a conversation about somebody who's really quite ill at the moment, and it is stress. I'm sure it's the stress that she's been under for such a long time is really getting to grips now. People, underestimate stress. They say, oh, stress is a good thing. Well, I think the levels of stress that we're starting to, we keep accepting are not a good thing. That's what creates a lot of illness in our body. So reduce the stress, reduce the tension, bring love into your body and go into your heart and feel that love that's there, and just spread it through your whole body, and just relax. Give yourself time to focus on you and what's important to you. And then by doing that, this is where creativity gets created. People become more creative and innovative because they feel supported. They can then express themselves more freely because they're not going to be judged. They feel they're not going to be judged. They can explore new things without fear of being judged, because if they feel that love and that support, it helps them to go and explore, be creative, and go, oh, let me try this out. And in trying something out, it just sparks new ideas. And then there's joy and happiness. It's like, oh, yes. And again, those loving connections just get more and more. So love does create miracles each and every day, if you let it, and if you acknowledge the miracles, and if you just stand in being love yourself. That in itself is a miracle if you can do that, because a lot of people are being angry, they're being upset, they're being judgmental, and it's just catching yourself and going, okay, I'm being judgmental. Breathe and be loving instead, and just watch how things transform. It will literally transform relationships or events or experiences just like that, just by changing who you're being, just being loving. So you said love comes from within, and stop worrying about others. You're right, Nomsa. Love comes from within, and constantly worrying about others does not help them, and it doesn't help you.
No, it doesn't help. The stress is so much stress.
Yeah.
And it brings a disappointment as well. And
Mm-hmm.
because you have these expectations where you expect people to love you at a
Yeah.
certain level, and when those expectations are not met, you get disappointed, and inside within it means you're not happy. That is create a sickness, like you were saying. So for me, what I've learned is it fully meditate when you're stressed. How I get rid of stress as well is by I pray, I speak in tongues, connecting myself,
Mm.
like fasting and connecting myself with the Holy Spirit. It means whenever I feel disappointed, I would see life in a different way, like you see the invisible. when you unleash that power within, there are times where sometimes I'll speak to like I'll be I'll speak to my friends and they'll be telling me like this. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, life is a blessing. I
Mm.
wish you can see what life is instead of worrying about who did not do what, who did not do what. I'm like, life is so beautiful. And
Mm.
it is hard when you have not experienced that love that comes from within. But when you experience it, it's like nothing else matters anymore. And even people's opinions, it doesn't matter anymore because
Mm.
those are just opinions. People are allowed to have their own opinions. I had I had to go with my brother. I've got my brother who is older. Uh, I'm older than him, but he's
Mhm.
older than the younger ones. So
Okay.
my other brother will go and treat him really bad, and then he will keep loving and keep doing that. And I said, no, love, but give him tough love.
Okay.
And I said to him, even God himself is not perfect. He knows that we are not perfect, but he disciplines us when we sin. He'll make sure that we don't go back to that sin. He will move away. And when we want him, he comes back. So I said to him, as a human being, as a brother, you have to learn to give somebody tough love, not by fighting or by anything. If that behavior, that person tells you that this is what they think, you go inside of you and say, okay, this is why you think of me. I'm just going to breathe and I'm just going to take you all in. I'm going to forgive, but I'm just going to go and give somebody else this love that you don't appreciate. When you are ready for it, I was like, don't lie to him. Just when you're ready for it and say, when you are ready for my love, my conditional love, come back, I'll give it to you. And he just looked at me and he was like, he thought I was bonkers. I was like, no, I'm not. I was like,
Mm.
if somebody, God says, anything you want in my name, you can ask. I will give it to you. And also, he says he's above everybody, any other gods. It means he doesn't share love with anybody else. He's a jealous God. So he's very, very clear with his love. So I always use that. I'm like, I have to be very, very clear with how much I can tolerate with when it comes to people like loving. Like you are at Ngozi talk shows, I appreciate you, you appreciate me. But if I didn't appreciate you, you will not be around me. So that's why I was teaching my brother that appreciation, when somebody appreciates you, and they show you that I respect you, I appreciate you, you hang out with them. But
Mm.
if that person shows you that you are not good enough for me, I was like, I always move away when somebody shows me that they feel that I'm not good enough, because I don't know what is enough. If you feel that I'm not good enough for you, show me how you want me to love you.
Mm.
I'll be with you. But if I feel that you feel that you're better than me, so then I always move away from people like that. So I was telling my brother that you have to give my other brother tough love, and because if you don't, we're not gonna learn. It's like my mom. My mom gives me tough love. She loves me. She's this. Me and my mom were very, very close, but from the beginning, the rules and the grounds are very, very clear that she's always gonna be my mom. She's always gonna be in charge.
Mm. Good
Yeah,
for
she's
her.
always,
Yeah.
honestly,
Oh.
she's always gonna be in charge. So whatever I do, we laugh, we do everything. Whatever I do, I know that she's in charge. So I just have to step back. Or even sometimes because I've gone deep with my Christianity, even sometimes when I talk and I see that they're just doing things for culture, not based on Christianity, I just let them get on with it. I just let it, because she's my mom, I let her get on with it. And when they're finished, she'll be telling me this is what they've done, and I show appreciation for her as an adult. So
Mm,
that's what love is about. We have to appreciate each other's company. And if we feel that this person is not like it's not good enough for you or this, you just move away from that picture. But there are so many things when I was reading that scripture, Carol, and I felt that we take life for granted. And I was like, God, help me to search through so I can see who have I taken for granted and
mm,
where I can improve, or have I taken myself for granted, my everyday life for granted, or and also I was talking to my daughter, my 17-year-old, the other day. She sometimes you tell her to clean the room, she would just takes her time, and her dad will go into the room and she goes, the more she says she's cleaning the room, it looks like the more she's trashing the room. And he was like, I don't understand what's this cleaning. She cleans the room and the room is not messy. And then when she actually gets into it, she cleans it. So I have to be careful as well. Because when she cleans it, she throws clothes away. So I have to go and look at the bags, what kind of clothes are being thrown. So now we get to ask, and I was like, do you do that with your dad? And she goes, Mommy, I will never do that with my dad because you're different. You just accept everybody for who they are. So with you, I just know that I'm free. I can be who I want to be. So I look at her and I was like, wow. Sometimes we think what we do, our children don't feel, but they can feel. She's actually describing the real me. And I was like,
mm,
well, I have to pray more so I don't affect my children. Honestly, she said to Carol Ann, Mommy, you accept me for me.
mm.
So
She
if
gets
I'm
you. She
messy,
gets
I
you.
just sit there. You're just gonna keep telling me to do things, but I know you accept me for me. She goes, can you imagine if I was leaving the clothes on the floor with my dad? He would just look at me and start coming to clean my room. He
Mm,
was stuck. I just
mm,
looked at her and I was like,
mm,
these kids.
mm.
So, and I was
Okay.
like, wow, she's actually describing me. And that's who I am. I've learned that the hard way, actually, that sometimes when I studied personal development, it was the biggest thing that I had to do, work on, just to accept people for who they are, not what I want them to be.
Yeah.
Because if I want people to be who I want them to be, it's no longer a relationship. It's like I'm forcing them to become what I want. So I had to work on that one. It's hard work.
I think what you mean is it's not a loving relationship.
No, it's not.
It's a relationship, but it's not a loving relationship
No, no.
because you're not loving them for who they are.
Yeah.
You're expecting them to change.
Yeah, I'm
And I think,
expecting them
and
to
that's
change.
a great way love creates a
Yeah.
miracle. It can shift a relationship. And I'm just looking at the time and
Oh,
thinking,
yeah,
gosh,
we are
where's
really
this time
done.
gone? It's like,
It's time to go.
yeah,
It's time. Do you
yeah,
have any words of encouragement, Carol
yeah.
Ann, and where the audience can find you?
Finally, absolutely. Thank you. And there's a couple of quotes that I've got um, that I'd like to leave people with. And that's one is by Mary Davis, is miracles don't happen to you, they happen through you. So I thought that was a great one to think about.
I love that quote.
Yeah. And then the other one is by the Dalai Lama. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive.
No.
So bring love into your life. Look for where it isn't. Look for
And
where it
also
is and
accept
bring
it
more
as
to it
well.
and be grateful and have gratitude. So
Yeah.
yeah, and people can find me on Facebook, Carol Ann um, Cooper. as you can see on there, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. And I also have a Facebook group called Get Your Book Written. If you want support in writing, that's what I do. I help to facilitate and unlock the writer within you. So, and that's a healing journey in itself. And you're bringing love to your story. You're bringing love to your writing. You're bringing love. And that's again where a miracle can happen. What you thought you couldn't write about, you can write about.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
Love is a
yeah.
love is a
There,
miracle. For me, I
there.
just leave you with this, guys. I've seen this even with my friends that if I want something, if I ask them for something, they're quick to say yes. They want to help me.
Mm,
They want to do things for me. They want to show me love, what love is about. But when I offer them, it's like, oh no, I'm okay, don't worry. It's like they don't want it to be a pain. They think love,
mm,
just receiving love, we are
yes.
allowed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just have to give, we are
Mm,
allowed to receive it as well.
yeah.
It has to go two ways. So if you are somebody who likes to give love and you don't like to receive it, please try to say yes to love.
Just say yes to love.
Yes.
Don't try. Just do it. There is no
Just say
try.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Open your arms out and let it
Yeah,
in.
yes,
Yeah.
yes to love, yes to
Yeah.
unconditional love. And it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And if you want to connect with me and Carol Ann, please go to my website, www.hseia.com. You can find my website on any or all of my social media. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well and Facebook. I've got two groups. Ghost Talk Shows group, guys. Join the group if you are following us, be part of the family, and Unique Billionaire Mindset, be part of the family as well. And like Ngozi Talk Shows page and be part of it. And if you are following us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Be part of the family so you can see when we're live, and then it just come and follow us, and you can learn lots of things from us. That's what we do for living, sharing our life stories, sharing love, and coaching, and help you to grow, self-growth. That's what we need in these days. And yeah, and live with grace, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Is Valentine's Day tomorrow. And Valentine's Day should be throughout of the year, by the way. But tomorrow is when everybody's going to show their spouse how much they love them, how much their children. My daughter, she's already expressed that love needs to be spread tomorrow. Live with grace,
Oh.
everyone, and God bless.